And now the good news. It is Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. And it is afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it is. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the New Thought Media Network and the good news for Friday nights. Well, I am so delighted to be back. I'm Barbara Jean, and I am the spiritual leader and founder of the Center for Spiritual Living on the Lake in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. And here we are. Well, let us begin. Well, you know what's going on between Canada and the United States. Well, here's somebody who's got a good news story about that. Thanks to a little love in a Buy Canadian Reddit room, a small condiment business thinks they found the secret ingredient to success: patriotism. There you go. Aki's Fine Food has been manufacturing Indo-African sauces and chutneys out of Pickering, Ontario for 38 years. But owner Chanel Williams says she's never seen anything like the sales numbers being put up this year. After the province's lockdown orders during the pandemic sent many of Williams' key grocery store buyers out of business, it seemed like she was going to follow suit, and the company, started originally by her parents, wouldn't make it to the third generation. Realizing that her mother could lose her business if something didn't happen, William's daughter, Eliza Welch, posted a call for help in a Reddit room called Buy Canadian. My mom owns a Canadian-made Indo-African sauce company that has been in business for 38 years. It's truly amazing and has been struggling since COVID. With so much interest in buying small Canadian companies, I figured I would share her products as an alternative. Your support would change your life. All products have a maple leaf. That support saw sales on Aki's Fine Food website increase 4,000%. Williams said the impact is saving my business. I can't believe it, she said. I can remember one little note. This lady said, keep it up. Make Canadian. We want Canadian. Gary Sands, Senior Vice President of Public Policy and Advocacy for the Canadian Federation of Independent Grocers, said he's never seen anything like the reorganization of Canadian producers and vendors toward buying, sourcing, and selling local in the wake of U.S. President Trump's newly imposed 25% import tariffs. Sen said the Williams' newfound success is just one manifestation of the all-consuming and rapid business trend sweeping the Great White North. So I don't know how good this is for all of you in the United States, but for us here in Canada, well, some people are succeeding, and that's good news. Now, here's the sweetest little story. Oh my goodness. In a scene straight out of a children's book, a tiny, weak, and starving bunny wandered into the ER of a local hospital seeking help. The community quickly rallied together to save it. Nurses were shocked to spot a bunny in the hospital, even more so when it began following them around. The bunny, no bigger than a fist, clung to a hospital employee's leg and trailed her with every step. Moved by the desperate plea for help, the people of Alawa rallied together. The hospital staff and city services, including the local water guard, jumped into action to find proper care for the baby hare. A Bolt rideshare driver volunteered to transport the bunny from Alawa to a wildlife rehabilitation center in Rocklau and refused to charge for the ride. Nice. At the rehab center, the famished bunny immediately attacked the milk replacer. Staff reported it wasn't long before the older hares welcomed the little one with open paws. Our other bunnies accepted the baby like their brother, first sniffing and licking, and then full acceptance. The older ones immediately took care of him. That's the role of the older ones. Social media users are now flooding the post with praise for the hospital staff, the kind-hearted driver, and everyone who played a part in rescuing this little baby bunny. Oh, he's so sweet. Oh, my goodness. All right. A woman catches a candid photo of an elderly couple and the response is quite lovely. A simple act of kindness in Washington, D.C. has captured the hearts of many, and it's all thanks to a candid photograph of an elderly couple. Last year, while admiring the cherry blossoms in full bloom, a woman found herself taking a picture of a lovely couple sitting by the water. Little did she know her thoughtful gesture would bring an unexpected but heartwarming response. What a beautiful photograph! It's amazing. The woman who shared the story on Reddit recalled her encounter with the couple. She was strolling through DC, enjoying the beauty of the cherry blossoms, when she noticed the couple sitting near the water. The image was so sweet that she couldn't resist taking the photo. I thought it was sweet, so I went up to them and asked if it was okay that I took the picture and if they'd like me to send it to them. The couple was delighted by the idea, and the woman promised to send them the picture. The next day, the couple responded with a heartfelt text message, which she shared in her Reddit post. Thank you very much. This is a very nice pic and one that we never would have taken. We've been married 49 years, but this is the first we've seen like this. Very kind of you to take it. Thanks. Well, the message deeply touched the woman, and she expressed how much she hoped they had the picture framed. The post quickly went viral on Reddit, where users gushed over the couple's enduring love and the emotional depth captured in the image. 49 years married and still pulling off the notebook vibes. Absolute legends, one commenter wrote. Another shared a poetic reflection. It's almost like they're peering at heaven's gates, but the water represents the long, vast journey on earth they still have to get there. And the branches represent Earth's embrace. Beautiful picture. Isn't that sweet? Well, on that note, let's take a brief little commercial break, and we're going to be back in just a minute. So don't go anywhere. You're watching The Good News on the New Thought Media Network. We'll be right back.
Welcome to Science of Mind Archives, your gateway to spiritual wisdom. Join us for our grand opening gala. Experience a weekend of inspiration. Enjoy a ribbon-cutting ceremony, a gala dinner and workshops, plus a labyrinth walk and town hall. Connect with a community of seekers. Explore spiritual teachings and resources. Find your path to personal growth. Join us from April 24th to 27th. Lodging options are still available. Visit our website www.scienceofmindarchives.com for more details. Please RSVP by March 15th. Featuring Reverend Jesse Jennings, musical inspirations with Karen Drucker, and the spirit of Ernest Holmes. Come celebrate our new home at Unity Village, Lee's Summit, Missouri, and please visit www.scienceofmindarchives.com.
New Thought Media Network proudly presents the 2025 season for Nonviolence Meditation Series, January 31st through April 4th. Embrace nonviolence every day with our 64 unique video meditations. Join us at 6 a.m. Mountain Time or watch anytime on our YouTube channel. Featuring a collection of New Thought voices, the 2025 season for Nonviolence Meditation Series. Only on New Thought Media Network, January 31st through April 4th.
And we're back. And this story is, well, we all knew it was true. Science confirms it. Your dog wants one thing before you leave. If you've ever felt a twinge of guilt leaving your dog home alone, here's some good news. Something as simple as petting your pup before you go may help them feel more at ease. A recent study explored whether gentle petting before a short separation could make dogs feel calmer while waiting for their owners to return. And the results? A reassuring tail wag for dog lovers everywhere. There's my baby Cyrus. He left us a year ago, but oh my goodness, what a sweet dog he was. Didn't like to be picked up and held much, but that's a sweet picture of him. The power of a loving touch, we already knew that physical contact like petting can reduce stress in dogs. But this study took it a step further. Researchers tested whether, okay, that's my new little dog. Our puppy is up to 60 pounds now, and she's quite a joy, but she thinks she's a lap dog. So physical contact like petting can reduce stress in dogs, but this study took it further. Researchers tested whether a little pre-departure affection could make a difference in how dogs handle those short separations. 10 dogs participated in 2 scenarios. Once they were petted for a minute before their owner left, and once they were not. Researchers measured their behavior, stress signals, and even checked their saliva to see how they reacted. The findings were encouraging. Dogs who received petting before separation displayed more calmer behavior while waiting for their owners. Their heart rates lowered more significantly after the test, suggesting they were more relaxed. Even though all dogs looked for their owners during separation, their stress levels remained relatively low in both scenarios. Ah, that's my producer, Deja, and her little pup, Maple, who is full of energy, that little dog. He is just incredible. All right, so the small yet meaningful study suggests that a little love before leaving can make a noticeable difference in a dog's experience of separation. The benefits of petting don't stop with dogs, it's good for us too. Studies have shown that interacting with pets can lower blood pressure, reduce stress, and even boost levels of oxytocin, the feel good hormone. Take a moment to pet your dog before leaving isn't just reassuring for them, it can also help you feel more relaxed and connected before stepping out into the world. It's a simple yet powerful way to strengthen the human animal bond, and bring a little more calm into both lives. Well, I know it's true. I'll tell you, our little dog really provides us with a great deal of calm and joy. And yeah, it's lovely. All right. Well, getting into a little more serious story here. Rescuers relieved to find a pilot and 2 children survived a crash landing on a frozen Alaskan lake. That would be scary. Fearing the worst after a prop plane was reported overdue for landing in Alaska last Sunday, search and rescue volunteers were relieved when news rang out that all 3 passengers survived. The pilot and 2 children of elementary and middle school age survived a crash landing on the frozen surface of this Alaskan lake and walked until they were seen. The first story broke Sunday night or Monday morning that a Piper PA-12 supercruiser, which departed Sunday on a sightseeing trip, didn't land when it should have. John Morris, the father of the missing pilot, told CNN affiliate Alaska's news source that his son's cell phone sent its final ping at about 5 p.m. Sunday evening. The news source reports that a National Guard and state trooper search and rescue operation was augmented by volunteers from the community, with one family friend posting a notice for help on Facebook that was reshared 420 times. Eventually, it was a Good Samaritan who saw the plane wreckage and 3 people walking on the frozen lake that helped rescuers find them. The 3 survivors were taken to the area hospital and treated for non-life-threatening injuries. One of the locals, excuse me, something popped up on my screen that wasn't supposed to. One of the, oh, where was I here? All right. So one of the local people heard the call for help. With a background in assisting search and rescues, he went up in his own plane to look for survivors, but had barely arrived in the last known position before he heard over the radio that they had been found. So everybody stepped up, stepped in, and a good report as a result. Boy, surviving a plane crash, that's something to talk about for sure, for sure. All right, moving right along here. More good news. UNICEF-led volunteer effort has prevented Afghanistan's health system from collapsing, ensuring care for millions. After a few years of uh, Herculean efforts, UNICEF has reached a point where it has prevented two-thirds of Afghanistan's healthcare sector from collapsing. Working mostly in rural areas, the operation has been vast, employing 28,000 full-time carers and physicians and 32,000 volunteers, staffing 96 fully equipped hospitals and 2,400 rural healthcare centers, sometimes as small as a single room. But for vaccination, childbirth, and routine checkups, even a small room can make a huge difference. And the work that UNICEF and partners have been doing is also helping to build better medical habits among rural populations. To the outs, yeah. I'll tell you, there's something wrong with my mouth tonight, and so please forgive me. Please forgive me. Taking over from a failing medical system that collapsed in 2021, UNICEF has propped up huge areas of medical sector work under ridiculous monetary constraints, such as no money can be transferred into the country's financial institution. Since the program began, there have been 2.2 million babies born in UNICEF facilities and a 20% increase since 2019. The country that has suffered from 40 years of war presents the same challenge to those seeking to end lives and those seeking to save them. An incredibly challenging geography. Yeah, the 32,000 volunteers do as much as they can to connect these isolated places with difference making medical services, thereby demonstrating the value of modern medicine to skeptical and meshed communities. Uh, the firsthand experiences go a long way toward helping convince others to avail themselves of medical services, especially for male Afghans who, like men all around the world, are reluctant to seek care for minor issues. It's really wonderful to see the change that is happening in a country that really, truly, desperately needs it. And I think we can look at this type of stuff and look within our own hearts and go, what is it that I could do today that would make a difference in somebody's life? Could be a neighbor, could be a stranger on the street, could be someone in another country. But we all have the ability to do something. All right, moving right along, fluorescent rocks in a wind cave in Wind Cave National Park may show how life could exist on one of Jupiter's moons. Oh, well, let's pack up and go. Fluorescent chambers inside South Dakota's Wind Cave has given scientists a pathway into theorizing how life could exist on one of Jupiter's moons. In a cool NASA-funded experiment, scientists shined an ultraviolet UV light around the rocks inside Wind Cave and found that chemicals fossilized within the rocks shine in brilliant hues of pink, blue, and green. The goal is using the fluorescent features to understand how the caves formed and how life is supported in extreme environments. But the data may also reveal how life could persist underground on worlds such as on Jupiter's icy moon Europa. The team explained that the chemistry in the cave is very similar to places such as Europa. The purpose of the project as a whole is to try to better understand the chemistry taking place underground that's telling us about how life can be supported. As Seabury and his team began to venture hundreds of feet underground to investigate minerals and life forms in the dark, they used black lights to look at the minerals in the rocks within new areas of the wind cave. Serby says that under the black light, certain areas of the cave seemed to transform into something otherworldly as portions of the surrounding rock shone in different colors thanks to impurities lodged within the Earth millions of years ago. The hues corresponded with different concentrations and types of organic or inorganic compounds. The walls just looked completely blank and devoid of anything interesting. But then when we turned on the black lights, what used to be just a plain brown wall turned into a bright layer of fluorescent material that indicated where a pool of water used to be 10,000 or 20,000 years ago. Wow. The team collected the fluorescent spectra, which they say is like a fingerprint of the chemical makeup from different surfaces using a portable spectrometer. That meant they could take the information with them while leaving the cave intact. One of the team is using data collected during the fieldwork to build a publicly accessible inventory of spectra to help provide an additional layer of information to the traditional cave map and may paint and paint a more complete picture of its history and formation. That's pretty cool. I love those photos. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Okay, so for anybody who really likes foie gras, foie gras, here's one that doesn't require a duck. How good is that? A cruelty-free way of making foie gras has been devised by scientists that includes no unnatural additives or additional ingredients. In fact, it helps reduce the amount of biological waste during the butchering process, keeping it out of landfills where it provides climate warming greenhouse gases. Traditionally made uh, or fatty duck liver has been the subject of protests by animal welfare activists as its production involves force feeding the birds. Several countries and regions have laws against production. For example, foie gras has been banned in Switzerland since 1978, and even where it is legal, some retailers have ceased selling it. Everything in our process is controlled, which is a positive thing, said Professor Vilgus. We never considered adding anything additional to the foie gras because we wanted pure duck, nothing else. So the professor, a lover of foie gras, wondered if there was a more ethical way to enjoy the dish. The answer is yes. And he patented the recipe, which is described in the scientific journal Physics of Fluids. The authors and Vilgus explain that foie gras is distinct from regular fowl liver thanks to its high fat content, and that they were able to achieve similar fat content, taste, mouthfeel, and texture by altering the liver tissue after a duck was processed by the butcher. It was important to the research team not to add external ingredients or additives, and it turned out to be the perfect additive was actually being manufactured by the liver itself, lipases. These enzymes help digest fat in the body, mimicking the activities that occur naturally in the duck's daily life. When used to treat duck liver and duck fat, it replicated the delicacy right there in the laboratory. So it could be produced a little more humanely. Yes, and that would be a good thing. All right, let's keep going. We're running out of time here. So the waters of Switzerland, from sewage-filled waters to crystal blue. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? From Phoebe Weston at The Guardian comes the story of an effort to clean up Switzerland waterways, an effort that has transformed the unique European country into one that enjoys the cleanest urban swimming spots on the continent. In the 1960s, water quality in the form of sewage treatment investment received the smallest share of attention, and rivers and lakes, like the famous one at Geneva, were covered in algae mats, all-colored foam, and dead fish. A typhoid outbreak at Zermatt in 1963 led to several deaths, and hundreds fell ill. It was found that raw sewage was the cause of the epidemic, and an outcry from the public led to massive investments in sewage treatment and pollution control. That was then. Now, as Weston's photography testifies, the blue gold of Switzerland's waterways are the envy of their neighbors, and people of all ages and at all hours flood the beaches to enjoy a swim, even in the nippy early spring. Very high water quality is important to the population, said Michael Matty, head of wastewater technology at the engineering company Hollinger. We take a lot of care not to pollute water on its way through Switzerland. According to one source, in 1965, only 14% of the population of Switzerland was connected to a wastewater treatment plant. Today, it's 98%, and the government spends 191 uh, probably 1,000 euros, or it could be million euros. I'm not sure that symbol on water purification. Oh, per citizen, compared to 98 euros in the UK, for example. Since 2016, the Swiss federal government also has been working on a massive pollution control effort for drugs and medications flushed down the toilet when they're excreted by the body. They include, as Weston details, antidepressants, anti-inflammatories, diabetes medication, and even antibiotics. We don't often think about that, this stuff runs through our body and then leaves trace behind. And then there's some people who dump their prescriptions that they haven't used down the toilet. Not a good idea. Take them back to the pharmacy. The pharmacy will take it back and they won't give you any money for it, but they will get rid of it in a proper way. Okay, one last story quickly, I think. That's probably all we have time for. So this gentleman is the Stephen Hawking of drone-based agriculture, overcoming disability with entrepreneurial drive. I love that. A pioneer in utilizing drones for agriculture, a man with the same condition as Stephen Hawking's has built a flourishing business in just 4 years. Drones have plenty of use on the farm, and Kyle Albertson has developed services for surveying, crop spraying, and more. Diagnosed with congenital muscular dystrophy at just 9 months old, Albertson has never let it get in his way. Growing up in Indiana with farms as far as the eye could see, riding tractors and combines were activities that he always enjoyed. As a young man, he joined both 4-H and Future Farmers of America and worked hard to develop a goal-oriented mindset to fuel his sense of independence and the belief that he could do something dramatic with his career. It's a shock to some people that I can do the things I do. It's just old habit to me. Graduating from Purdue University in 2021 with a degree in agribusiness, he launched his business, Albertson Drone Services, LLC. The same year, drone photography had emerged in his years at university as a hobby, but he found that farmers were really interested in aerial photography and would pay well for drone-operated pesticide deployment. His business has doubled its revenue in the most recent fiscal quarter compared to its first year, as well as the number of clients it maintains and the acreage it covers. The as yet short journey has nonetheless gone a long way in fostering that independent streaks. And speaking with WRTV, Albertson noticed that he has a driver's license and cruises around country roads in a modified van with a joystick. When asked if he had any inspiration for readers, he decided to offer an entrepreneurial perspective rather than anything to do with his CMD. If you think you can do it and it's a good business action, give it a shot, said Albertson. Well, I think that's a beautiful way to end. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. You've been watching the good news here on the New Thought Media Network, the way we close out every Friday. Work week is to come on here and give you some good stuff to take into the weekend. I'm Reverend Barbara Jean, and I am so delighted to be here with you today. I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Have a beautiful weekend and know that you are loved. Bye for now. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe.